Welcome back. Domestic violence is an epidemic inflicted primarily on women by men all over the world. However, men are on the receiving end too. According to the Maryland Network Against Domestic Violence, this abuse happens to 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men across the country. Here to discuss the importance of creating healthy relationships and the impacts of domestic violence on Prince George's County is Jackie Roan from the county's Domestic Violence and Human Trafficking Division and Gerald Jordan from Jacob's Ladder Youth Foundation. So first of all, thank you so much for being here to talk about such an important topic. Jackie, I want to come to you first. When we talk about domestic violence, what is the impact in Prince George's County?
Well, the impact in the past has been great. We've had great, meaning the numbers have been too large. When we established the division at the Department of Family Services, we were leading the state with domestic homicides at the number rated at 18. Over the last year, we've been able to decrease those numbers of homicides to 5. So the impact has been significant, but I think that we're doing an excellent job in reaching out and educating the community on what domestic violence looks like and how they can combat it.
All right, and talking about how they can combat it, what are some ways if someone is in an uncomfortable situation, how can they handle that and address it?
So if a family member or someone thinks they're in a domestic violence relationship, they can always call 211 and get information and resources. They can call our office. We have staff there that's available to talk to them about safety planning and other things to that nature and other resources that we have.
All right, and then you also spoke about the importance of education and just making sure people are aware of domestic violence, and that's one of the reasons that the numbers have declined, which is wonderful news for Prince George's County. And you have an event coming up this weekend, so can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, on Saturday at the Camelot, we are hosting our 5th Men and Boys Conference called Momentum. We are working with our nonprofit organizations in Prince George's County that work with men and boys as well as in domestic violence. And we're really just inviting them to come out and engage the community on healthy relationships and resources on mentorship and fatherhood and other things of that nature.
All right, and so that's a partnership, and one of the nonprofit organizations that will be in attendance, Gerald, you actually represent. So why is it important for you to be there, for your organization to be there, and to support this event?
Yeah, this is our 3rd year participating with the Momentum Conference, and it's just very important just to continue to educate all of our participants in the program so it will not be victims and abusers directly when it comes down to domestic violence. And that's just something that we take very serious when it comes down to our program. And so just to make sure they're educated and get all the information that's available to them.
All right, so with Jacob's Ladder, with the focus on youth, what is the message that you have to them when it comes to healthy relationships and the impact that it will have on preventing domestic violence?
It's much needed, and even with this conference, we'll be giving a presentation on social media. And just the social media etiquette, not only just being, a good person and the do's and don'ts, but just to make sure they're not using social media to harass and intimidate and control and any kind of abusive situation when it comes down to social media. So we're trying to hit it at all angles.
All right. Now, Jackie, when we spoke earlier, you mentioned that it really does take a community to make sure that this message gets out. So why did you all decide to make sure that it wasn't just sponsored by you, but that you really invited nonprofits and other organizations within the county to support this event?
So early when the department established the division, we attended a men's ministry prayer meeting, and the men said they really wanted to be involved. They said that oftentimes when we talk about abuse, it's always the men looked at as though they're the aggressor, which sometimes they are, but the idea was really to engage men in a private setting where they could talk amongst each other and offer peer-to-peer support, not just to the young men in the room, but to each other, so that they could really start engaging on what a healthy relationship looks like and how they can work amongst each other. And the partnerships make it great because we also have not just Gerald's organization, but fraternities that come out. And so that gives the youth an opportunity to not just hear from the fraternity, but also aspire for college and other things. So it's a whole village that takes to engage the community.
Right, wonderful. And so the event, just so everyone remembers, is this Saturday. For more information on how to grab your ticket to the Momentum Conference, you want to visit pgcmen323.eventbrite.com or call the number on your screen. And special thanks to our two special guests for being with us here today.